What's going on, everybody? It is the WTW podcast. We have same crew as always, baby. I mean, come on, you already know it's your boy Superspan here with Julian, aka Golden Arms 36, aka Michael Pena. So, what we're going to be doing this week is sort of a recap of the last three games that the Bulls played. And yes, they are all losses. Do you want to just go game by game?
Yeah,
Or
we'll
do you
just we'll just go game by game.
Okay. So the first game is against the Dallas Mavericks. It's a game where I mean the big three had a solid night. DeMar only 16 points, but 22 from Levine. Vooch had 21 and 20, which after that game, I pretty much decided to myself, I'm like, they should really be putting Vooch as the first option on this team. I mean, when you give the ball to Vooch, we've talked about this and you've even said it, good things happen. You hear Stacey King talk about it a lot, that's for sure. But Vooch is just too talented of a player just to not keep giving him the ball almost every time when you're in the post because he just makes the defenders look like babies. They can't really guard him. And the only reason I'm fully convinced the only reason that he ever has a low scoring game is because Zach and Namar are taking the shots away from him.
Taking bad shots too. So throughout this game, the Bulls and Mavericks were pretty much neck and neck up until probably midway through the fourth. I want to say I'm checking the highlights right now. So far, it's the third quarter, so they're keeping pace. But again, this whole season's been this Bulls kryptonite. That 3-point coverage. These teams just go come away with the lead after every time the Bulls just like let them shoot open threes. An open
Yeah.
three in the corner, an open three in the top of the key, an open three right here, an open three right there. Like you're gonna see a theme in this episode and through this 3 game losing streak of how the Bulls just lose these games because they just can't cover the 3 point line. Which is crazy too, man. Like what a wasted performance for Vooch, 20 and 20. Like not every day you see your power
Yeah.
forward slash center get 20 points and 20 rebounds. Like way to help him out, DeMar and Zach. But that's like to your point too, is that they take a lot of shots from him. But not only that, it's like not in the flow of the offense. I would like DeMar and Zach to have a high amount of shots, but at least they're good shots. They're never good shots with these two. Like they're always like ISO ball, especially DeMar. Like as much as I love DeMar scoring, like come on, bro. Like do what you did in San Antonio. Get those 8 assists too, because this one-on-one backing him down, brick, and then we run it back down the court. It's getting old already, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, that game alone should prove to all the Vooch haters that he's still an elite center. I mean, certainly top five. I can't think of many more centers in the league right now that can score at the level that he can, get as many rebounds and all that. Like it just blows my mind how not a practically anybody on this team is able to make an entry pass or see the mismatch in the paint.
Or make a
And
three. Or make a three.
yeah,
Or make a
honestly,
three.
we
Like
have guys that have the ability to make threes, but for some reason, we just cannot have a game where everybody's clicking at once and the offense is running smoothly. You see Zach taking the dumbest shots imaginable. I cannot tell you how many teams or how many times, excuse me, I see him just he'll be like at the top of the key or on the wing or whatever, and he'll just do like a jab step, little jab step, and then shoot it right in their face. And sometimes he makes it, but when he misses it, it's like, come on, you could have gotten a better shot. Like, or
yeah.
just somebody else could have gotten a better shot. It blows my mind.
Yeah. And I don't know, like every time he drives to the hoop is like the referees just sometimes give him calls. Like I've been saying for a while now that Zach Levine just does not get any foul calls going his
Yeah.
way. He does like from time to time he does get the calls, but even when it's blatant, they still don't give it to him, and it's crazy. Like it's really insane how he doesn't get the respect that I a scorer like Levine in his 10th season, you don't get calls like that. That's crazy in my opinion. Like I don't know,
Right.
maybe the refs have it out for him, but he should be getting to the line a lot more because he is attacking the rim. Like this season, I have noticed that he's attacking, but now
Oh
the
yeah.
referees are just not calling him now.
Yeah. And obviously Levine has all the talent in the world. I'm a huge Levine fan. Always have been as soon as he got on the Bulls. And I always will be. I'll be a huge supporter of him, but I mean, this is what happens when he's the number one option. He's not the type of guy that can be your superstar that can get you in and out of games on a nightly basis. We've seen him do that before, but I feel like those games are kind of few and far between. You don't see that very often with him because, you know, I mean, he there it's like good Zach and bad Zach. Um, I don't know. That's the best way I could put it.
Yeah.
Now onto the Nets game. Did you have something to say?
Just quickly break down like the Bulls had their chance in the fourth quarter to beat the Mavericks with about a minute and a half left. Completely just fell apart with an avalanche of threes from the Dallas Mavericks. And let's give a shout out to the Mavericks, all right? I mean, I know we like to talk about the Bulls here, but hey, we're also an NBA channel. And the Dallas Mavericks hooped, dude. Like Luka Doncic got some talent around him other than Kyrie Irving. Grant Williams was hitting threes. Derek Lively was out there just crashing boards, getting put back dunks, stuff that Patrick Williams should be doing.
Yeah.
You got other contributors on that squad just hitting a god amount of threes. Like that's crazy how many threes they were hitting. And shout out to the Mavericks. Luka Doncic leading the league in scoring right now. They got their one loss against Denver. I think the other night or I forgot when, but they were the only undefeated team going into the Bulls game. So hey, shout out to them, and we'll see how they come out in this very tough Western Conference.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you would like to see Luca make it to the Western Conference Finals again. That'd be I would love to see him in the finals. Because he's a talented player. He's just the only knock I have on him is the complaining. But anyway, on to the Brooklyn Nets. This is a Nets team, honestly, that I feel is sort of sneaky. They have Bridges, Cam Thomas, Dorian Finney-Smith can pop off at any point. Dinwiddie's a solid player. I didn't even know they have Dennis Smith Jr. Is that right? That's
Yeah,
yeah. They have Dennis.
they got some good young talent. Like you would have thought after after getting rid of James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant within 2 seasons, would have like decimated this team. But nah, man, they got a boatload of lottery pick. Well, not lottery picks, but first round picks from those trades alone. Then on
Yeah,
top of that, you made it out with Mikal Bridges and have Ben Simmons, who's gonna have a career resurgence. Like I can see it happening, especially with the talent around him. Like Ben Simmons can make it work. but
and Cam Johnson didn't even play that game.
true. So you know, it's just crazy how the Nets like somehow are gonna recover from this. Like you would like a franchise that gets set back a few years trading their best players, let alone three of them, and you make it out like this. I mean, they're gonna be sneaky good. So on top of this being like a regular season game, it's the inaugural end season tournament. So it actually counted as an end season tournament game and a regular season game. And my first impression is the courts are red as hell.
Yeah, honestly, um, I was saying this when we first saw them. Like, it's kind of a cool novelty. But when you're playing on it, it's like, dude, or you're watching it's just hard to watch. Like it'd be a cool poster or something. Or maybe like a cool like phone wallpaper, whatever the case may be. Um, but all these courts are kind of ugly.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like I think it was the Pacers one. You're blinded by it. There's so much blue, yellow, like I don't know. But anyway, Let's talk about the game. I mean,
Very close game. It was competitive. It was probably the most competitive in-season tournament game that I see. I didn't see the other ones. I should probably watch those highlights. I have the highlights going on the Bulls Brooklyn Nets. I mean, the Bulls were down. They were down, but they fought.
yeah,
This had a very like playoff like atmosphere in terms of just how the game went down the wire, which we'll get to that point in the end of like when we talk about the last 10 seconds of the game. But
yeah,
overall, I mean, the Bulls competed, dude. They went out there and played their asses off. So did the Brooklyn Nets, and that's
yeah.
why the game came down to the wire, like we said it did.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to give kind of a soft shout out, not a full shout out, but a soft shout out. Patrick Williams, man. I mean, he had his moments where he looked like a solid 3-and-D guy. Like he's had more moments in the last 3 games. I feel like where he's hustling, he's making his shots, he's getting rebounds, playing solid defense. Now his numbers aren't really popping out, but I mean, he's shown a little bit more energy. Um, I mean, we'll get into the benching and all that. He wasn't benched in the Nets game, right?
Nah, he started.
Remember,
He was playing, but I mean, he hasn't. I can understand the benching, which we'll get to when we get to the Denver Nuggets game. But
yeah,
yeah, like this is what he should be doing. I wish he just was more. I don't know, man. Like he's so good. Like I've been saying for the last 3 years, he's talented as fuck. Just that somehow, some way, he just does not have that killer instinct, that edge, that
yeah.
it just doesn't show. Like it never
I wonder,
shows.
I wonder if when they were scouting him, if they noticed anything like that. If they thought maybe, maybe he's just a Kawhi Leonard type where he doesn't show a lot of emotions, but he plays hard. And obviously, they did their research and they watched him play at Florida State. So I don't know if they talked about that with him. Like I said, when they were drafting him, when they were doing the interview process and whatever. But he doesn't really have that killer instinct. But I will give him his props. He has his moments and has had moments the last couple games where you sort of see like damn, like that's what he can do. Like why don't he just do that every night? It would certainly be a huge help. And yes, this was a loss, but we can get more in depth than I'm about to right now. But Zach LaVine had a good look at a shot. It was a difficult shot, but he had a good look, and honestly, it just didn't go in.
I mean, looking back on that shot here, I'm actually gonna look at it right here, and I'll do some creative editing too, and pull it up right here. And yeah, so he makes the first free throw,
Intentionally missed a second.
eventually misses the second, but I'm gonna freeze it right here. I mean, he's gonna keep playing on the bottom, probably in a loop. But I see right here, he misses it. The clock starts at 4. He had a lot of time to take a better look than that, honestly. I get that he was trying to like, you know, get the defense off guard, but yeah, he could have had a way better he had enough time to get a better look in my opinion.
Yeah,
But that's just Zach for you. You live and die with his shot sometimes. The
yeah.
one the one like I just think back to the shot that he made in Charlotte where he like got the steal or whoever got the steal, he got the ball back, but rather than go for the quick two, he ran back to the 3 point line and got the W instead. So
Was it
you live
Diacono that got that steal?
man, shout out, right?
Oh, I miss him. I miss him.
We
He
need
wasn't
some
that good, but
we need
he had
someone
the heart.
scrappy on this team now, someone with that dog in them. Anyways,
We got
but
Caruso. Relax.
but yeah, that's second loss in a row.
Yeah.
And a 0-1 in the in season tournament. Oh well, it
You
is what it
thought that was
is.
over. You thought that the losing was over. Guess what? We played the world champs the very next night. So, what for the first 2 quarters, for the first half, I feel like it was a relatively close game. And then the Nuggets did what the Nuggets do. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. had 27. Jokic almost had a triple double. He was one assist away from it. I mean, I'm looking at their stats. They have one, two, three, four, five, six guys in double figures. I mean, Christian Brown was, I mean, he was a stat sheet stuffer against us there. Reggie Jackson scored 16 points. Like, I mean, you're not going to stop Jokic, but it doesn't seem like the Bulls can stop anyone. They're leaving everybody open from three, and the Nuggets are a team that you can never afford to leave open from three, especially not guys like Michael Porter Jr. or Caldwell Pope. Or it seems like everybody on that team can shoot threes. So I mean, when you are a team that leaves people open from threes and you cannot make threes on the other end, you're gonna lose. I mean, it's just that simple.
Yeah. Also too, when it's just Jokic out there and not Jamal Murray, who left the game with a hamstring injury, I believe. I was listening to the Denver Nuggets broadcast last night,
Mm.
and it's only Jokic out there, and he wasn't really doing much damage up until he turned on that second gear in the third quarter. But our big three did not show up. Zach LaVine shot horribly yesterday. Vucevic, I mean, you can only ask for so much when you're guarding the the, the Finals MVP, Nikola Jokic, the triple
Right.
double machine. And DeMar, I mean, like I said earlier, like you're taking these back down ISO shots, but then you're breaking them. It's like, dude, at some point, start doing other things. Like these shots are getting old. DeMar's good, yes, but dang, man, like,
No, it's DeMar, not Dang.
like, come on, like, you played for Popovich. I thought your game would have evolved by now, or like at least, all right, maybe I'm the one who needs to take the back seat and let Vooch and Zach do their like play off them. But like, I don't know. And we're getting to the third game, and once again the Bulls just. I'm watching this right now, and you said earlier you can't leave a team like Denver open. They're just raining down shots, raining down threes. Michael Porter Jr. like has a vendetta against the Bulls because dang man, he was not missing from the 3 point line at
Yeah,
all.
I still think we should have drafted. Like,
Oh, ooh, him and Zach. Oh my god, dude,
yeah,
we would score so many points, but we would give up so much too. It'd be the Houston Rockets before the Houston Rockets. It'd be Kevin
honestly,
Porter Jr. and Jalen Green before Jalen Green and Michael and Kevin Porter Jr. If it was those three.
honestly, yeah. I mean, I didn't expect anything less. Um, it's the Denver freaking Nuggets, and it's Nikola Jokic. I love Vooch. I think he's great, but he's not as good as Jokic.
Of
Just
course
that
not.
simple. That team is, I feel like, generationally good. They have all the right pieces and then some. I mean, I would take Reggie Jackson at this point. Now, that's not to knock Kobe White. I feel like he's been playing pretty decent lately. He had that game where he scored 0 points, but I'll look past that. He's doing his best out there, but it's just, gosh, I don't know what this team is gonna do. And tomorrow, as of this recording, we're playing the Utah Jazz. So, I mean, not that the Jazz are good or anything like that,
No, they got the
but
same record as the Bulls, so it's not
I
like
I could, I
it's
could
not.
see them beating
Yeah,
us.
yeah. Of course, of course.
Larry
Not.
Markkinen is about to drop 50.
Yeah, he's about to
I
drop
mean,
a career high after serving some time in the military in his home country.
yeah, right.
So, man, overall, after these 3 games, I'm starting to really question. Hold on. I'm starting to really question how long until the AK breaks up the big three.
Right.
Someone's gotta go if this doesn't improve. Because
Yeah.
if they're just gonna go into these next until before the trade deadline, still doing the same old thing, because now the players themselves are getting pissed. Of course you're getting pissed because you're everything's happening the same way since the Lonzo injury and nothing's changed. That's not
Yeah.
the. And I know you're gonna knock me too, but the front office should have made some changes. Blah 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 blah. Like, yeah, they should have made some changes, but they also invested in Caruso, DeMar, Zach, and Vooch. The four, well, mainly the three. You know who I'm talking. The big three. They
Yeah.
have to. They're the ones who have to be the ones to make this team better. This team invested money in the three of them, especially Zach LaVine. Zach, to me, I feel like Zach LaVine got his money and now he's just content. All right, he's not gonna ask for a trade, but he's also not gonna. He's also gonna play like, oh, why the hell am I here? Type of attitude. Because
Yeah.
like I don't, man, like this team rather than pivot and trade you, Zach LaVine, they pivoted and built around you, Zach LaVine, and this is what you're giving them. 50-point
Yeah.
nights with 0 assists and losses. What are you,
It,
Damian Lillard?
yeah. Yeah, the writing is clearly on the wall. It's on the wall, it's on the TVs, it's in your yard, it's everywhere.
Who?
It's
It's
inevitable.
just going to be
Uh,
at this point, who's going to be the first domino to fall? All
right.
right,
I
because
mean,
it's unless
mediocre basketball sucks, dude.
something's got to change. Like, I mean, something's got to change.
Yeah.
You can't you the Bulls team. This Bulls team cannot continue playing like this or continue having this attitude with this big three. Like they just go into the game, play, get their numbers, and then call it a night. Like come on,
Yeah.
that's not Chicago Bulls basketball. I mean, we've had teams with way less talent carve out 45 win seasons, 46 win seasons,
Yeah.
damn near 50 win seasons. This team can't pull off a 45 win season, really, because they just want to go out there and get their numbers. Nah, man. Zach, you had this team built around you. Now be that franchise player. DeMar,
That was that
you
first problem right there.
exactly, but this is I just remember hearing Bulls fans and Bulls Nation saying, "Help this man." Where they when they should have been saying, "Trade this man."
Or get a like we got a point guard, and that's the thing, man. I don't
But
want
do
to.
you
I
think?
don't want
But do
to
you
get.
think the issues are far more deep than just getting a point guard?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, clearly at this point, big
Right.
time.
It has to be a lot deeper than that because it's almost been 3 years since Lonzo's been hurt, and yet they still
Yeah.
can't figure out how to like play without Lonzo. Like, what do you mean? You've only played with them for 26 games. What kind of chemistry did you get that you
Right.
totally lost, and it's taking you 2 years to figure it out? Like, oh my God, we have a big three that don't play together or don't play as a cohesive unit.
It's maddening. And the craziest part is I feel like the three alphas were better than this.
Oh, of course, because we got to the playoffs at least.
Yeah,
And if Rondo didn't get hurt, I guarantee we probably would have beat the Celtics.
we could have. I'll die on that hill.
And
But
especially seeing how Jimmy is now, like Jimmy would have been on some playoff Jimmy mode. He was on playoff Jimmy mode, kind of, sort of. I don't know. He kind of,
oh, I
was.
wish we kept Jimmy. Like, my God, I wish we kept Jimmy and knew how to build around him.
But
That's the thing, isn't it? Like we don't uh what's the word I'm looking for? We don't develop players well, and whenever they leave, another team develops them much better than we do, and they become all-star starters.
except
Yes,
but
I'm bringing up Lowry
except
Mark, man.
except Wendell Carter Jr. Guess what? He got
Except
hurt.
Wendell.
He got hurt again. Oh, look at that! The theme of Wendell Carter's career: the so talented but can't stay
Yeah,
on the court. That's why
yeah,
the Bulls fans need to understand. That's why they traded him. Yes, we got Vucevic, but that's why they traded him.
Vooch
When
is
was
better. Vooch is better.
Vucevic is
Like
better
that's
because he's on the court. He plays. Dude,
yeah,
Wendell. When did Wendell ever have a healthy season when he was with the Bulls?
never.
Never. He only, I think, at minimum, he played like 50 to 60 games every season he was with the Bulls. He
Yeah,
never, he never played an 82 game season. So
talented as hell, but
talented as hell, but can't stay on the court. Come on. At some point, like even I was complaining about that, and like in his second season, it's like, yeah, we're gonna see the real Wendell. Then he breaks his hand or some shit. I forgot what happened, or he got an eye injury. That's why he was wearing those goggles. I don't know. I forgot. He was never on the court. His injury
yeah,
list is pretty long, so it could have been anything at that point.
you know that's sort of the history of the Bulls right there.
Just
Injury.
moves that just injuries, and just moves that just didn't work out.
Yep, and that's honestly what these moves are looking like. I take back what I said about the front office. I think I've told you this recently. I fully believe in them that eventually they'll make the right moves and trade Zach, trade DeMar. Like I don't want these guys gone. I don't want the those players gone. But I mean, it just looks like that's going to be the inevitable. You're going to have to rebuild because there's no continuity. There's no bringing this team back to the first seed. You know, not even the top five, if you ask me. That even that seems out of the realm of possibility. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just it is what it is.
Yeah, he
Can
would.
you say for sure this team is mediocre?
Dude, at this point, we are a lottery team. But
Right.
but
That's
what
what I'm
else?
saying.
But in the Zach LaVine era, and then on the overall Zach LaVine era, because this is the Zach LaVine era. I mean, let's not get
Yeah.
it twisted. We traded Jimmy Butler for Zach LaVine,
Right.
and what has what has he brought? Like this is just par for the course, honestly. Like
He's just shown he's like a second or third option in all
good
reality.
good stats, bad team player. That's all he
Yeah.
is. That's all he's ever been. That's all he's
It's
ever been, and
like
that's
a
just it.
favorite
Just I
column.
just never I just always found it wild to me that Bulls fans were like, "Get this man help. Let's build around him. Let's just
Yeah.
let's get him a co-star." And then they got him the co-star, and then somehow he plays worse or he earns a max contract. Like, not play worse. He's playing pretty well.
He's playing like insane.
When Lonzo was around, he actually had like higher efficiency. But ever since he left,
That's because he wasn't the guy bringing the ball up the court. He had a guy like Lonzo on the court making plays and everything and making the smart moves.
hmm
We don't have that right now.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but that's not to say let's wait to see if Lonzo comes back, keep this team continuity. Yay. No, like you have to do something. You have to
Who knows if Lonzo will even be back on the team either way. So
I hope he is, but yeah,
no,
exactly.
don't wish that. Don't wish that upon us, dude. Because then continuity, we got Lonzo back. Oh
I don't
man,
I fully see a trade happening. I do.
yeah.
Cuz we're 2-5 right now. We've had some close games and
Let
that's what I'm afraid that the front office
let's
has.
get into that too, because a lot
Yeah.
of other than the Denver Nuggets, all of our two prior losses were right down the wire. We could have easily lost that Indiana Pacers game too, but right down the wire, they've shown they can have clutch moments. But it's a repeat of last season's looking like where the Bulls are in it in the last 30 seconds and suddenly boom, a barrage of
Right.
3-point shots or just a mistake on one end leads to a fast break bucket on the other end, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, those are the worst kinds of losses where you're just watching, you're getting excited. Oh, Zach makes a huge play, DeMar makes a huge play, and then I don't know, Marvin Williams or the equivalent of Marvin Williams goes off and makes five straight 3-pointers just out of nowhere.
Dorian Finney Smith went 4 for 4 at one point in that Brooklyn in season tournament game. Grant
Yeah,
Williams was hitting three pointers, four 3
he
pointers.
was
I
going
don't
off.
yeah. Dude, who did they Denver put in this little ass white dude, this point guard, Gillespie? They
Oh
put
yeah,
him
yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah.
and I just remember him just torching Levine on the backdoor cut. Like, bro, how you let that man torch you on the backdoor cut? Are you serious?
Right.
Like,
It's
I
unbelievable.
keep holding my head like this entire episode. Just this
Telling
three
you,
game
the
this three
writing's
game
on the
lo-
wall.
this 3 game losing streak is just giving me a headache.
Writing is on the wall, man.
Just a mat.
Yeah,
Well, we got until after December because that's when all the free agents that were signed are able to get traded. So after
yeah.
December 15th, I believe. So we'll see. Maybe Vucevic would be. I think Vucevic is the more attractive trade bait out of the three. To be honest with you, because he's putting
Yeah.
up numbers. He's actually contributing. You put him on a contender,
Put him
he'll
on a team that knows how to use him.
yeah, exactly,
We're gonna see him
exactly,
be an all-star again.
exactly, and that's exactly, dude. You put Demar. I mean, Demar's going to the Lakers. Let's just keep it real. Like if they're gonna trade DeMar DeRozan, they're gonna trade him to the Lakers.
What was Miles Turner?
Yeah, right.
But
And then my chaos theory that I had brought up to you, that the Miami Heat would trade for Zach LaVine, give the same trade package they were gonna give for Damian Lillard, just give it to the Bulls.
yeah, honestly, that would be huge because that was a big trade, a big pack
Who
pause.
who did they not want though? Like who was like, I don't know, like what was the one thing that the Heat and Blazers could not agree on?
I forget. Was it Hero?
Yeah, it was Hero, wasn't it? It was
Yeah,
Hero because they
maybe.
didn't want his ass. But they could have just traded him too, like they did with Drew Holiday. I don't know. Blazers are kind of. That's why.
Yeah,
That's why. Other than the Grizzlies, are one of the worst teams in the league right now.
yeah. The Grizzlies. Oh my God.
All right, so you said it was inevitable, but what is your opinion? I gave you my like opinion on the big three. Who would get traded first? Who do you think would get traded first?
I could see Vooch. I could see them Zach probably being the toughest option to get traded, just because of their asking price. But I mean, like I said, man, I mean, especially if the losing continues, you have a worse record come middle of December, January, February, around the trade deadline. It it's all a matter of the first domino falling. Like, you saw it with like the Cubs 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They traded Baez, Bryant, Rizzo. I forget who was the first to go, but once that happened, the dominoes just kept falling because they're not gonna keep every single member of the big three, especially if they trade them.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially if they trade one of them. At that point, you know what's gonna happen. But honestly, we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make any trades. Especially if we're around 500, which would suck. I I mean, like I
But
just want this to be
in the
better.
Eastern Conference, 500 is not a bad record. I believe that's like what
Yeah, but
that
you're
would be
still not
like what
the
the seventh
championship
seed or the sixth. Yeah, I know, but it's this front
unless
office. If this front office is preaching continuity, then they would want to make another playoff berth. And hey, if it's a playoff berth that gets them out of the play-in, the Bulls are gonna go for that. And I don't mind them seeing going for the sixth seed. Because at
yeah,
least, because at least it shows that this team got some goddamn dog in them.
yeah, if they put it together, which I mean they can. Um,
Did you see that interview? Did you see that episode of that podcast that Patrick Beverly is in, where he talks about the Bulls and how he says that like he's like very disappointed in them because they're a lot better than what their record is, and that was bullshit how they had that players only meeting and they
oh,
like
I didn't see it.
they kind of shut out Billy Donovan because Patrick Beverly is a real big fan of Billy Donovan. Like he likes the stuff that he runs. He likes his basketball IQ. Why is it that why is the other guys not liking it?
Right,
And I'm gonna I think it's Zach LaVine. I think it's Zach LaVine because he was never like I don't know with Jim Boylan, which granted Jim Boylan sucked, but dude, him and Zach always butted heads. And
right.
that was like kind of the reputation I got from Zach. It's like, bro, it's your coach. Like you try to win in spite of him sometimes. And then now you got a guy with a high basketball IQ. Like as much shit as Billy Donovan gets, he's probably like one of the best coaches we've gotten. Like up there with like probably Doug Collins. I don't want to say Phil because we got 6 rings with him, but he's like the level of Doug Collins. Like he's that really good coach, like that good coach you would want to like start off your rebuild, start off your culture change type of shit.
Yeah,
That's Billy Donovan. But I don't ever think Zach LaVine ever bought in. Even before we got Demar and even before we got Vucevic, I don't think he ever bought in.
yeah. It definitely doesn't seem like it. So I don't know, but I think I'm gonna end it here. It's been about 34 minutes ish or 33 minutes, but I just want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, share the video. Really hope you enjoy, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace out, everybody.